Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So I get accused all the time of overusing the phrase, you reap what you sow, but how else do you describe situations like this? Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail voice actress gets replaced after appearing to signal boost Genshin Impact and HoYoverse Boycott. Now, if you've been following this situation, you knew something like this was going to happen eventually. For context, about a month ago, there was a boycott started by various players because they believed that the new Natlin region of Genshin Impact was somehow an act of cultural appropriation, and their response was to raise a general boycott against HoYoverse games. Now, this boycott is asking people to do a lot, including contact local politicians on this issue. However, the one thing they won't do is stop playing HoYoverse games. In fact, most of the boycotters are still actively playing HoYoverse games, and now the latest issue in this boycott is whether or not they have to actually stop playing the games. Now, I also covered this during this whole situation. Several Genshin Impact voice actors came forward to signal boost and encourage people to protest this game and HoYoverse generally. And I said in my coverage that someone is going to get fired as a result of this. How do you allow one of your voice actors to signal boost and encourage protests against your company that's going to hurt your bottom line? Well, we got exactly what I predicted here. So this is the voice actress we're going to focus on for a second. Her name is Courtney Lin. She is a now former voice actress for several characters in Zenless Zone Zero and also Honkai Star Rail. And you can see this tweet she made on July 14th, about 2 days after that main thread for the boycott was made, clearly referencing it, saying, "Oof, jumping back on Twitter to say your voices matter, and I'm so proud of our community for using theirs. Retweet, email, speak up. Our community is strong." Now, fast forward to August 13th, and we have this user sharing what appears to be a removal of her roles for several games. And if you look at the latest patch notes for Honkai Star Rail, you'll see her roles have been assigned a new voice actress. And if you look at the latest Zenless Zone Zero patch notes, you'll notice again that her roles have been assigned a new voice actress. Now, this is a classic F around and find out moment, okay? It's very obvious if you're going to promote something that's going to damage the bottom line of your employer, they will likely get rid of you. And also, if I was in the industry looking for someone to hire as a voice actress, why would I go with someone who's going to basically go after my own product for support on Twitter? Like, it's just not a very smart move to do. But this is where the video would have ended, but then another voice actress would jump in the fray to defend her friend. So this voice actress is named Valeria Rodriguez, and you can see she also voices a character from Genshin Impact. This will be important later. So she jumped into the replies of that previous user and said this: "You're a effing loser who's gonna die alone, and I would bet $1,000 that you are incredibly depressed and hate yourself. Get therapy or rot alone in your bedroom, but leave nice people out of it, nerd." That, or have the balls to say this stuff in person, not behind a profile picture, which, besides that last part that's a not so vague threat, you can see this mean girl routine here. It's absolutely insufferable. And you'll also see in this tweet and in many others that there's a lot of projection, okay? A lot of projection about things that clearly they might be insecure about themselves. So let's look at some of the responses she had to random users in the comments of the original tweets. So this user said, "Maybe if you had a real job, you'd have more than $1,000 to bet with." Where she responded saying, "I post your bank account and I'll do the same. I got way more than 1K. Trying to go band for band with a random Twitter user is some nasty work, okay? Wealthy people don't do this. Wealthy people don't go onto Twitter and start arguing and trying to compare bank accounts with random users. That's not what they do. And also, this might sound a bit harsh, but it is the reality of the industry. English voice actors don't make a lot of money. In fact, a lot of them struggle financially and have to have side jobs to keep things going with their voice acting career. So I don't really know if this is the route they want to go. But on top of that, the way they describe this, they sound like some teenager who got their first paycheck of all time and now they're flexing it out on everyone. But this money, the issue would get a little bit worse. So she made another tweet saying, "Sad muskrat," referring to Elon Musk, "sucks, and I don't pay for Twitter Blue. The sheer amount of engagement I've received from some of these weirdos would have made me twice as rich as I already am." So not only is she calling herself rich, she's saying she'll be twice as rich if she had ad revenue sharing on Twitter because of all these engagements she's been getting. as someone who does have a Twitter Blue account and knows how this works, engagement and the revenue from it on Twitter is abysmal. It's not worth your time. You literally make cents for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of interactions. In this case, based on all the interactions she probably got over the last 24 hours, she would have made like $5. So I don't know if you want to flex that you'd be twice as rich with $5 to your name. But anyways, let's move on to some more projection. This user is making fun of their appearance, and they reply by saying, "Not me on my third threesome of the year, and these nerds in the comments calling me ugly." So if this looks familiar, this is almost exactly what Kotaku editor Alyssa Mercante said earlier this year when someone was criticizing her. She responded by saying, "Well, I just had a threesome." Okay, like what does that have to do with anything? Does that make you more valuable? Does it make your words more valuable in this situation? It sounds like some frat boy trying to brag to his buddies. Like, it's kind of an embarrassing thing to say. Like, if you're a consenting adult, so you can do whatever you want, but don't act like it makes you more valid of a person in an argument. But continuing on, here's another wall of projection. This is just 3 random replies in a row. So this user says, "That's why you're getting replaced." She said, "It's actually not, but also, does it suck not living a life or career you love, or are you naturally this bitter?" Where the next user says, "Shut up, get away from my hobby." And she says, "Does your back knee trigger the demons in your head, or do you actually speak like this of your own free will?" Then another user says, "Can't wait to see you get replaced." And then she says, "You will never be important, and I think that makes you sad at night." If it hasn't been obvious already, it seems like there's a bit of projection here. But here's some more comments. So responding to this user, she said, "It's more so the racist Genshin fans coming out of the woodwork because she dared to agree with us wanting better representation sort of thing. But yeah." So now she's turning around and calling Genshin fans racist. I'm sure MiHoYo loves seeing this. They love seeing someone who voices one of their characters calling their fans, the people who are helping MiHoYo make money, calling them racist because they want to have a Twitter spat with random people. And on top of that, she would make this thread right here, beginning with this portion, saying, "I use my platform for kindness in spreading the word about important topics. That's why she spent the last 24 hours arguing with random people. She's trying to spread the good word, important stuff." But on top of that, anyone who has to constantly remind you that they're a positive and helpful and nice person, stay away. They are probably the most toxic person. No positive, nice, good person has to constantly remind you how positive they are. But anyways, let's move down to this last part. So she says, "Okay, upon further review, most of these accounts hating on us have an incriminating amount of lolly art on their pages. Maybe I shouldn't interact with these creeps." So by virtue of what she's saying here, she's basically accusing Genshin Impact and HoYoverse of producing illegal content, which is obviously a bad thing to do, but also you voice acted for this community and this game, these sets of games. Like, why would you be participating with something like that if you think they're making illegal content? If you think stuff like this is illegal, they have tons of lolly characters in the game. And if you don't like that, that's fine, but then don't go getting a voice acting job from them. And on top of that, I mean, it's literally in the game files. Like, there's no denying that there's a lot of lolly characters in HoYoverse games. But here you are, gladly taking checks from these companies to keep working with them, because that's more important than anything else. And also, we would see some more replies here, replying to this other voice actor. She said, "Nah, you're totally right. I shouldn't engage, at least not as much as I do. But sometimes it's satisfying to say stuff back, even if I'll never get the satisfaction of beating them in a 1v1 Muay Thai or something like that." Ooh, shiver me timbers. Wow, she's going to challenge you to Muay Thai. Here's the thing. I find this with a lot of cry bullies on Twitter. The second they kind of run out of arguments, they either start name calling you or threatening you in real life. Like, that's all they really have at this point. But let's move on. I mean, this is the same person, right? They're trying to challenge these people to real life stuff. They're saying that people are cowards and hiding behind profile pictures. But then go to her tweets and you'll see she's hiding replies making fun of her. So I guess she's not that tough. But on top of that, she would say this: "I'm in the comments verbally beating haters. V Nation, join me in my crusade." So she's referring to, I guess, her followers as the V Nation after herself, and also saying she's verbally beating haters, which I guess would be breaking Twitter TOS at that point. But on top of that, what are you beating? Like, you're just like randomly projecting about nonsense that's not verbally beating anyone. And on top of that, she would say that people are tagging her employers trying to get her in trouble, but she ends with this down here. I will go to effing war for my friends. Yes, I would say it all in person. No, I do not care if I get fired for that. I know where my ideals and morals lie, and I will always roast the F out of these assholes, especially for friends. And yes, I'm hot as F and bang a lot. It's my burden to bear. Insufferable. But anyways, one of the people who helped share this entire story was Hero Hey, and she would even throw some strays in his direction saying, ignore them, that dork is just trying to get his bag from doing trashy journalism. Doesn't matter. I'm moving on and thinking about what I'm going to do for Halloween. Yes, she's moving on after tweeting almost every minute for 24 hours straight to people she's mad about on Twitter. But anyways, that's going to do it for this situation. Will she be the next one to suffer some sort of punishment from the HoYoverse? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, we've seen at least one voice actress paying for their comments and signal boosts of the Genshin Impact and HoYoverse related boycotts. But that's going to do it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.